So we are live. We are live. I'm just gonna wait for a few people to join. So we're going to be talking about the new moon in Aries taking place on the 21st of March. It's not for a little while yet. I'm quite early, but I really wanted to get ahead of this and talk about this new moon because it's just so exciting. Because the fact that the new moon is going to be taking place at 0 degrees in Aries. So this is a very potent, very fresh, very powerful energy. Hi there, Danielle. Welcome. Good to see you today. How are you? So yeah, it's a very strong, powerful new moon, and it's actually going to be occurring whenever the spring equinox takes place. So looking at the astrological new year, I mean, what a time. What a time. Hi, Raya. Welcome. Good to see you. Hope you're well. So, seeing as there are a few of you who have joined, I'm going to just get into this presentation, get stuck in with it. And of course, hello, Victor. Welcome. Oh, you have an Aries moon. Awesome. Me too. Good morning to you. So, yes, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend, folks. Hello, Melissa. Welcome. Good to see you. So yeah, let's get into the new moon in Aries. So it's going to be taking place on the 21st of March. So again, like I said, really kickstarting here the new year, the astrological new year. It's so exciting. And I can't wait to share this information. And of course, for any of you who have not joined this live session, you will be able to catch up at a later stage on my YouTube. So hello there. Hi, welcome. Welcome from Vancouver Island. Welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. It's not for a week or so, but again, like I say, I just wanted to come on here early, but big happy new year to you in astrology terms. I hope the year ahead for you all is full of blessings and great times. Right, so these are the main things that we're going to be discussing today. So we're going to be looking at the fact of the sun and moon being at 0 degrees in Aries. So like I said, it's very powerful, very potent, very fresh. And we're also going to be, hello, welcome, Tiffany. Welcome. We're also going to be looking at Mercury in Aries, which will conjunct the sun and moon. So Mercury will be in Aries there. And also we will have this Jupiter and Chiron energy conjunct in Aries. Now the orb is quite wide, but still they will be conjunct. So essentially there is this Aries stellium occurring during this new moon, during the beginning of the astrological new year. Though just quickly touching on this Jupiter and Chiron conjunction, they are the same degree today. So today is the 11th of March and they are 14 degrees, I believe. So what I'm going to share about Jupiter and Chiron in Aries may be quite strong for you right now in real time. Moreover, we'll be looking at Venus conjunct the North Node. So Venus will be in Taurus. And then there will be that sextile to Saturn. And Saturn is in Pisces. And then we'll also be looking at Mars in Gemini. So Mars has been in Gemini for the last 7 months or so. It's making its final couple degrees so Mars is making its final couple of degrees in Gemini. So we will be touching on that. How are you feeling about that? We're coming to the end of this what feels like a very long time, a very long chapter. Of course, we had that Mars retrograde in Gemini at the end of October coming into January. And the thing about this, of course, is Mars is the dispositor of this new moon. Okay, because Mars rules Aries within astrology. But then the other thing we're going to be looking at is this mutual reception actually taking place. So Mars is there in Gemini, and then Mercury is in Aries. So there is a mutual reception, and then the sun and moon will actually make a square to Mars. So these are all the key sort of points we're going to be touching on today. Good morning, Michelle. Good to have you here. All right. So, new moons. What do new moons represent? So, they look at new beginnings, thinking about a fresh start, a fresh perspective. We tend to plant new seeds during a new moon and we start a new cycle. But the thing about this is we may want to become quite quiet and reflect. You know, new moons are really about our inner world and just doing a lot of self-reflection. You know, maybe you're someone who likes to journal during a new moon or during full moons as well, or you're someone who just tracks the moon cycles. And new moons too, so we can feel very sensitive during new moons. You know, our feelings may be amplified. And with the new moon in Aries being 0 degrees, well, 0 degrees is a critical degree in astrology. It really marks the beginning of the sign, but this is the beginning of the zodiac because it's in Aries, the beginning of the astrological new year. So this really truly is a new start, a new beginning, and we may feel really just amped up and energetic, like we can take on the world, you know, especially sort of moving away from this conjunction with Chiron and Jupiter. You know, perhaps there has been quite a lot going on for, so sorry about that, my phone was going there. So yes, I was saying there that so during the past while we have perhaps, you know, felt this very intense energy in regards to our wounds and our healing. But as Jupiter starts to kind of move away, Chiron, of course, will still be in Aries. But I just think that with the new moon, it's more about, right, okay, I've learned so many lessons about my healing, about my inner growth, and now I'm ready to move forward and to move forward in a very energetic and powerful way. Okay, so I do just want to say here that with Aries, you know, looking at some keywords, you know, Aries looks at action, being independent, thinking for ourselves, freedom, being a leader, being energetic, driven, assertive. We really want to motivate ourselves during this new moon. There is this push to motivate ourselves and to encourage ourselves and to encourage other people around us. There's a sense of adventure and taking a leap, taking a chance, a leap of faith, taking a chance, and being daring, being direct, you know, and even just thinking about the moon in Aries and what that can kind of represent. You know, this could be a situation where we deeply reflect on our courage. We reflect on our growth. And maybe we will also be quite sensitive about our identity too. Um, Moon and Aries types tend to take things very, very personally and think that certain things are about them. I mean, I have my moon in Aries and I can very much relate to this. But there is also the ability to push oneself, to overcome, to be a leader and to inwardly be a leader and to be independent. So during this new moon, it's really reflecting upon these qualities and considering what your goals are and taking action when it comes to such goals. And perhaps also there will be lessons to do with how we can motivate ourselves in new ways. So planting new seeds about being direct and gaining a fresh perspective, and really putting ourselves first. But this, in a way, is like this. I would say it's an opening of sorts. So the reason why I say this is because there is also going to be this solar eclipse, this new moon solar eclipse in Aries on the 20th of April. So about a month after this new moon, there will be a solar eclipse in Aries, and it will be at 29 degrees. So that will be another critical degree, but that's at the very end of the sign. So I see this as the new moon taking place on the 21st of March and then to the 20th of April. It's going to go by so quickly. The month of April, I just want to say, it's going to feel like it's just come and gone. And I already can kind of feel this in like overall looking at January and February. It's so strange because it felt like at the beginning of January and February, like things really dragged, especially January. But now we're in March, and it's so strange about how time, our perception of time works. But to me, it just feels like, how are we coming into March right now? How are we approaching the astrological new year? Does anybody else feel this way? I certainly have felt this way. But yeah, going back to the new moon to the solar eclipse, it's going to go by so quickly. And there's going to be so many things that come up during that time period that are just going to be screaming at us in regards to our freedom, how we take action, in regards to our independence, in regards to our energy levels as well, and how assertive we are. And with the solar eclipse even occurring in Aries, we will talk about it more closer to the time. But this, the eclipses are going to happen in Aries and Libra over the next year or so. So yeah, big themes, new chapters, significant changes, really, really important changes about our leadership and about how assertive we are and about how true we are to ourselves, about our honesty. So pay attention, even thinking about your identity, your sense of self. And moreover, the last thing that I want to say with this about all of this Aries energy is the North Node is going to move into Aries on the 17th of July. So we're about to enter this new chapter. These new themes are coming up. So the transition from the Taurus energy to the Aries energy. Truly, this new moon is like I was saying, it's an opening of sorts. It's like it feels like a portal, a gateway to something new, to a spark of inspiration. So yeah, consider what your goals are. And a couple more things that I want to just touch on before we move forward with this presentation is, firstly, Mars has been in Gemini, like I've said it's been there for the past 7 months, but on the 25th of March, it's going to move into Cancer. So a couple days after this new moon takes place, Mars will move into Cancer. Of course, Mars is the ruler of this new moon. It's going to move into Cancer. So from the 25th of March onwards, we may feel a completely different way. And what I mean by this is we're moving away more from the intellectual side of Mars being quite heady and logical, and taking action based upon our curiosity. And we're moving more toward the emotional, to the intuitive. We're moving more so through this lens of, okay, I need to nurture myself. I need to support myself. And then the last thing is Pluto is going to move into Aquarius 2 days after this new moon takes place. So that's going to take place on the 23rd of March. I will be talking more about Pluto in Aquarius within my community, which is coming very soon. So it's Cosmic Warriors Club. I will talk more about it in a moment. But yeah, the 23rd of March, Pluto will move into Aquarius at 0 degrees. So I can't help but think that this new moon is also sort of linked to our community transformations, our group transformations, and looking at those more collective renewals. Okay, so with that being said, let's explore the fact that Mercury is in Aries during this new moon. So with Mercury being in Aries, conjunct the new moon, conjunct the sun, this is a time period where, like I was saying a moment ago, it's about honesty. It's about being very direct about what we think, about how we feel, having open dialogues about our feelings, about the message that we're trying to convey. It could also be suggested that we make decisions very, very quickly, and that is something perhaps just to be cautious of as well. When it comes to Aries energy can be quite impulsive, so be aware of that part of you too. So in this respect, it's like you want to speak in an instant. There's a sense of urgency when it comes to using our voice, and that can be beneficial in some respects, okay, but just perhaps be cautious of that part of it where we become too headstrong or too caught up in our own opinions and we don't really listen. However, I think even with the sun joining in, there is a greater sense of positivity. So having a positive attitude, keeping an open mind, having these motivational thoughts, these inspirational thoughts, and seeing opportunity, having that leap, taking the leap of opportunity. And that is kind of what I was saying earlier. This new moon is sort of saying, well, take the leap, do the risky thing. And have the ability to push yourself, to put yourself first, and really asking ourselves, what do you want? Truly reflecting upon what our wants and what our desires are, and then having this powerful urge to go after the things that we want. 0 degrees, it's like pow, par, action. Now, the sun and moon, this is the thing, the sun and moon will also make a square to Mars and Gemini, and Mars is the dispositor of this new moon. So I suppose on that note, with it being in its final degrees, what have you learned? What have you learned over the last 7 months? I'll explain some things that I have learned with Mars transiting my 10th house for the last 7 months, and even with the retrogrades. I have learned to not actually jump so quickly into new intellectual projects without first looking at what I already have going on. I have learned to be more, I suppose, present and focused, because when I'm not present and focused when it comes to my work, I'm more likely to make mistakes. Maybe just on reflection here, at the beginning of this live stream, I did not start it by saying, comment, subscribe, click the bell. I suppose you could do that if you want now, but maybe I wasn't the most focused. Maybe my head was off somewhere else. I was thinking of something else. Maybe I was distracted, maybe I was a little bit scattered there. So, when I'm not really fully present, then I'm more likely going to make mistakes. Also, whenever I am very too quick with my words, then I can make a mess of things. But I've also learned that I need variety when it comes to my work. I need to have creative projects going on. I have that Gemini midheaven, Gemini in the 10th house. I like to dabble in different things, but that doesn't necessarily mean always taking action on those things. So when I say with this new moon, in terms of taking this leap of faith and going after opportunities, yes, okay, that's great, but also just perhaps be smart about it. Gemini is kind of saying, be smart about it. You really just think, just question, write things down, ask for support from others, ask for some type of feedback. It doesn't hurt. And I also think with the fact, with the mutual reception going on with Mercury and Aries, and then Mars and Gemini, and then there's a square happening between them, it can feel like there is this tension going on. It's like we're eager to move, we're eager to start something, but we're also scattered. or we have other documents we need to attend to. We have other things that we need to close off, we need to finish up. Maybe as well, there's a sense of, being vocal, using our voice, wanting to say the thing, but also having this sort of inner dialogue of, I'm not really sure. Like, I want to say the thing, but really, should I say the thing? Because I'm really caught up in my head right now. Maybe I just need to gather the facts first, and things will become more clearer. Moreover, it could be that we feel inspired, right? We really feel inspired by something, but there's also this sort of tension. It's like I want to do it, but I don't know. I'm not really sure, or that thing makes me feel uneasy. And we may, again, kind of going back to getting caught up in our thoughts as well. I think even on that note, it might be of a beneficial thing to really vocalize, what the inner thoughts are saying, and to really be honest about how true they are. And I guess that's something that I talked about. I believe it was within the full moon in Virgo video, looking at how real we are, how honest we are with ourselves, or is it that we're just caught up in this sense of, being delusional? So I really think that this new moon is an opportunity for us to reflect further upon what we want and what is the best for us. But even the things that do scare us the most may make us feel uncomfortable, but that, I suppose, that doesn't mean we shouldn't go for them, right? And another thing is, we may be quick to react. Okay, we may be extra defensive. We may take things very personally during this new moon as well, and we may be more caught up in ourselves, leaning towards being self-centered, leaning toward being overly selfish. So I guess in that way, I suppose it's good to consider, the context of your situation, the what the bigger picture is for you, even thinking about your unique chart. But yeah, trying to get that sort of balance right, I suppose, between ourselves and others, etc. Oh, okay, the audio is a bit crackly. Okay, I'm only just saying this. Let me see if I can perhaps adjust anything. Okay, how's that? Is that a bit better? I'm sorry about this. This is something I could obviously improve, but is this better? Okay, I need to actually keep speaking so that you can kind of maybe hear it. But we're going to move on. And if it keeps doing that, not really, but it's okay. Okay, it's something then I'm going to have to figure out for the next time. Thank you so much for letting me know. No, thank you. I do appreciate it, because then it's something that I need to change on my end. But we'll keep going with this particular live today, and then that's something I can look into moving forward. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so like I said, Jupiter and Chiron will be conjunct there. So this is really looking at our wounds to do with our independence and courage and leadership. There are these sensitive areas that especially are being felt today. Like I said, there's that exact... Oh, thank you. Okay, good. But again, I do want to fix the crackle, because, I want it to be as best as it can be for you guys. So yeah, today there is that exact same degree going on between Jupiter and Chiron. So it suggests here that we are healing these wounds. We're focusing on these wounds to do with our independence, anything coming up about our identity insecurities, asking ourselves bigger question about our insecurities. We may even feel quite sensitive or even angry and frustrated about our future. It's like, oh my gosh, it feels as though everything is falling apart and nothing's going right, and I'm constantly having to do things to improve, but I'm never moving forward, and I feel stuck, and I'm having to go back to the drawing board. Even just thinking about the crackle situation, I mean, that's something right now where I'm like, I'm internalizing that, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, why did I not, get that ready? Why did I not get that sorted? That's just another thing that I need to, attend to. It's something else I need to do. But yeah, that is where the criticisms could I could do with perhaps not being so critical in this way. Also, it's about challenging our beliefs as well, challenging these fears that we may have about our future or about our leadership, questioning and challenging the stories that we tell ourselves about our identity and about who we are. So really, and on that note, what is your I am? Thinking about these things, especially with today, with this being a live stream, this conjunction, questioning these things today. But then during the new moon in Aries, these themes are still going to be present. And moreover, this is about standing up for your meaning, being brave, and being honest also about pain and suffering, being honest about our insecurities. But then there's also the ability to look at the bigger picture, to overcome, to perhaps look more at things through a meaningful lens, or trying to keep optimistic, trying to keep the faith. You can do this. That's what's coming to my mind. You can do this. And then also, Venus will be conjunct the North Node in Taurus, and there will be that sextile to Saturn in Pisces. So during this new moon, coming into the astrological new year, what are your values? Really questioning, what are your values? And it's these types of questions that will kind of help, even when it comes to your life path. Of course, the North Node is involved here. And Saturn is also involved here. These questions are so vital right now in terms of your purpose and your future. Looking more so at how we can structure our materials and our money, we may also experience trials and tribulations and these limitations, but this is also an opportunity to focus on steady growth and bringing form to your creativity. Looking at how organized your security is, looking at maturing when it comes to your sense of security, maturing when it comes to your relationships, thinking about how committed you are to certain people, places, and things, building for the future. And we may even feel somewhat anchored during this new moon, or this is an opportunity for us to lean into this energy and kind of focus more on the things that do help support us and anchor us, and looking at things like stability and security in regards to our relationships, and our finances and materials and so on. So the other thing I just want to further say with this is, so there is that harmonious aspect, so the sextile to Saturn and Pisces, but there's also that harmonious aspect between Saturn and Mars with the trine. So really, to me, it just seems like this new moon is screaming a message of, dedication, feeling secure, feeling stable, and trying our very best to keep a steady sort of mind, even though we may be feeling all of these wild and crazy emotions about doing and being go-getters, and it's like, right, okay, I need to take action here. Still trying to kind of be somewhat cautious and steady and responsible and thinking clearly, trying to really, manage that inner dialogue rather than getting, too far away with things. Okay, so that is everything explained. Now, again, I just want to say, folks, I'm sorry for the crackling. Even for people who are watching this after the live, I will fix this moving forward. I will try my best anyway. Though before we do get into these horoscopes, thank you so much so far for being here, everyone. And I just want to say as well that the Cosmic Warriors Club is coming very, very soon. It's coming on the 18th of March. There will be so much more information available there. There will be written horoscopes, monthly, weekly, daily online events. We'll be talking about transits. There will be Q&As, moon reports. So yeah, if you're interested, head over to cosmicwarriorsclub.com, and then there is also my Instagram there, Cosmic Warriors Club. Okay, so let's get into your horoscopes. Aries, sun, moon, and risings. This new moon will be taking place in your first house of your ambitions and your goals. So this is really about new beginnings for you guys. New beginnings in regards to your life path. This is like a whole new direction for you. It's pointing toward these new ambitions, these new goals, even a newfound sense of self, wanting to change something even about your appearance or about your identity, and stepping into this kind of brave space, being brave, being courageous, being a leader, which Aries, you are all about that. You know how to be leaders. Yeah. So moving on to Taurus, sun, moon, and risings. This new moon will take place in your 12th house. So during this new moon, this is more so about being quiet, recharging, relaxing, just doing things that make you feel a bit more revitalized. And maybe this is even an opportunity for you to reassess what your goals are, just to get quiet with yourself, and to go inward, to do all of the self-reflection, and yeah, to be honest about the next chapter for you, about the next step. And this as well is an opportunity for you to focus more upon what your spiritual self is saying, what your inner self is saying, letting that come through and listening to your inner voice when it comes to your identity, and your inner voice when it comes to self-assertion. Okay, Gemini, sun, moon, and risings. This new moon is going to take place in your 11th house. So looking at your clubs, your hopes, and your visions. So this is an opportunity for you to be a leader within your friendship circles, within your teams and groups. This is an opportunity for you to plant new seeds about being assertive within your teams and clubs and so on. Maybe it's that you will consider what your goals are, what your hopes and visions are for the future. You will really think about your goals and how those goals are tied to things like courage, how they're tied to being a leader, and they're tied to your independence. Cancer, sun, moon, and risings. This new moon is taking place in your 10th house of social status, your reputation, looking at your ambitions, your achievements, especially your long-term goals here. So this is an opportunity for you to really plant new seeds when it comes to these very areas. But really thinking about those projects that you want to start, that maybe you haven't already, or projects that you have started but they involve leadership, or maybe this is about you wanting a promotion within your work, within your role, your position. Maybe this is also about you being courageous in regards to your reputation, and thinking about what your public persona is, what your identity is out there in the public. And you're typically the types of people who come across as leaders to the world. Very independent people indeed. Okay, Leo, sun, moon, and risings. This new moon is going to take place in your 9th house of higher learning, higher education, further exploration. So to me, this is really about you taking things to the next level when it comes to how you share, how you inform other people, how you broadcast, even thinking about potential teaching roles or roles where you are strongly sharing a message. So it's about being brave, it's about being courageous, and looking at those goals there that you have in place in regards to such things. Maybe even looking at you possibly taking a trip away or wanting to expand upon things through travel, which can help you when it comes to leadership. Or even looking at purchasing some sort of new book or course, doing a training program, which can help you again when it comes to things like leadership and even goal setting, these types of things. Virgo, sun, moon, and risings. So this new moon is going to take place in your 8th house of intimacy, psychology, transformations. I am not going to sugarcoat things here, Virgo, okay, especially because I have a Virgo rising. This has not been an easy time, especially with Chiron making that transit through your 8th house and then with Jupiter as well. There's been a lot of inner growth and healing that you've been doing, really looking at your shadow, looking at your subconscious, making peace with the past, or having to open up those challenging things, okay? Those challenging things tied to the past. So I think that this new moon is sort of calling on you to be brave and to believe in yourself and to keep going. And even thinking here about intimacy, this is an opportunity for you to be direct about what you want when it comes to intimacy. Even just being very honest with your intimate partners, or being very honest about your sexuality, about what you want to experience in this respect in terms of your sexuality and intimacy. Libra, sun, moon, and risings. This new moon is going to take place in your 7th house of relationships. So clients and customers as well, but with the 7th house, it can be tied to those one-to-one relationships overall. So this could look like you maybe partnering up with someone, just joining together as a sort of team, or you have these new goals in place with your partner or with your colleague or with a certain client of yours, and you want to be assertive in this respect, or maybe this is about you looking at how you can integrate those self-assertive qualities that you have, which often feel like they're far removed from your identity. And maybe as well, this is an opportunity for you to look at a new cycle, a new beginning in regards to how you motivate your clients and customers, or thinking about how you motivate your partners, your friends, and so on. But this is about a fresh perspective in regards to really putting yourself first as well, when it comes to your relationships. Being really direct in this way. Okay, Scorpio, sun, moon, and risings. This new moon is taking place in your 6th house of your working life, services, your daily routines and habits. Okay, so this is about this new step, this new powerful cycle in regards to work. I mean, this could be you deciding to take on a new role at work. This could look like you leading in a whole new way, or asserting yourself in a whole new way, readjusting what your goals are, considering what your goals are, and really focusing on, the the ability to push forward, your ability to be really driven, and to again be brave and to be courageous. Okay, Aries energy is very much about, okay, I'm going to be brave here. This could even look like you deciding to motivate your coworkers and your so the people that you work with. And if we think about your daily habits and routines, perhaps there's a new sort of exercise routine you take on, or a new health routine, or a new diet. Maybe you want to sort of start something new within these types of areas. Okay, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and risings. This new moon is going to take place in your 5th house of pleasure and enjoyment and creativity, fun. So, this new moon may be a really good time for you in this way. It's just like, okay, I do kind of want to enjoy the things that I love, and I want to think about what I want in a creative way, what brings me pleasure. And you may go through this whole new cycle when it comes to the things that you enjoy. Even when it comes to your hobbies, you may decide to take on a whole new hobby. And this is just something I want to again mention, is the fact that this new moon is taking place at 0 degrees, and it's the beginning of the astrological new year. So if this is a time, I feel so passionate about this. This is a time to consider new beginnings, folks. We often hear this within astrology. It's like new beginnings, change. But this right here, this is the new beginning. This is a big new beginning, because it is literally the beginning of the new year, and it's 0 degrees. So yeah, Sagittarius folks, if there's a new hobby, a new creative project you want to start, this is the time for it. Okay. And if you have any children, it could even be suggested that you feel, more childlike with them too. Okay. Capricorn, sun, moon, and risings. So this new moon is going to take place in your 4th house. So looking at your privacy, your safety, your emotional security, family. So this could look like you perhaps setting things in motion when it comes to a living situation, when it comes to housing, property. This could look like you really just actually needing your space, needing your privacy for a little bit, so that you can really reflect upon, what you need emotionally, and maybe even considering what you want when it comes to family, what you need when it comes to your emotional security, and being able to sort of put yourself first in this respect. And I would say as well that this is an opportunity for you to consider what goals you have when it comes to your family. Yeah, there's something even quite sensitive here coming up about family situations, and it's about, I suppose, being courageous, being honest, being brave. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. So this new moon is going to take place in your 3rd house of your mindset, education, learning, communication. So this is an opportunity for you to, switch things up when it comes to your intellect, to switch things up when it comes to your mindset. Maybe you make a major sort of breakthrough in terms of how you think, or maybe it's that you decide to be brave about starting a new educational project. You decide to be brave about how you educate other people, or it's that you look at your goals when it comes to education and learning. And it's really about, okay, leadership, taking action, and going over even what types of things in terms of education and learning, what motivates you. And even just being able to perhaps motivate other people with your words, and just really using your voice. And so planting new seeds when it comes to being this leader in terms of communication. Okay, and lastly, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. So this new moon is going to take place in your second house. So looking at your earning potential, your resources, skills, money, security. So being a leader within these areas, looking at the goals that you want to set in place or the things that you want to achieve within these areas. Looking at being assertive when it comes to your finances, for example. Maybe taking some type of leap of faith or a sort of risk when it comes to your earning potential. This could even be you switching gears when it comes to a skill or a talent you have, switching gears when it comes to your resources, changing how you spend, or considering, what you really want in terms of your materials and finances. All right, so that's all of the horoscopes, everyone. I will put timestamps, by the way, down below once this is all finished with. So if you maybe miss something, you can catch up later. But thank you so much for listening, everyone. Now, again, if you want to join the Cosmic Warriors Club, it's thecosmicwarriorsclub.com. It's coming so soon. I cannot wait to talk more with you guys. And you can even ask me questions and everything within the club. And it's just going to be a really great community. So I would love for you to join. And then if you're interested in any of my services, you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. And if you enjoyed this live stream today, if you enjoyed your horoscopes and just hearing about the new moon in Aries, then you can buy me a coffee by going to the link in the description box, or by looking at that little code there. But that is us. Now, I just want to further again repeat, I do apologize about the crackling. I'm probably going to listen to this over and be like, oh my gosh, it's all crackly, so annoying. But you know what? Thank you so much for being patient with me. You're all so lovely. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. And happy new year. Happy new happy astrological new year. Happy new moon in Aries. And I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Okay? Take care. Bye.